Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. We got a live stream today. Been busy over the weekend. Some new top 30 visits that came through via Anthony DeBona on Twitter. So I want to touch base with y'all about them, some of my thoughts, and with what I think 17 days to go into the NFL draft, which we will be live for. I don't know if it's going to be the old Battlebirds podcast. We'll see what LB's doing, but I would like to go live, not just myself, but a couple of content creators to talk about the draft live. Every other team, but more importantly, our Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out to the people in the chat early: E Money, Grind Time, Tyler B, West Philly, Donnie 4, Zach. Appreciate the love and support. Again, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you know when we do upload videos or go live. Like I said, been busy on weekends, but starting to clear up stuff so I can go live / drop videos during the weekends. You know, you get normally content Monday through Friday, but the weekends I've been busy, but we going to switch it up. We got to keep you guys involved and entertained. And like I said, there's a lot of ways this draft could go simply because the Eagles got the 32nd pick and a very active GM in Howie Roseman. It's as simple as that. Again, we have 17 updated top 30 visits per Anthony DeBona. Go follow him on Twitter and check out this website via Philly Sports Network. He wrote the whole article. And again, there's some good stuff in there as well, for sure. Let's get into it. And we probably will do a quick mock draft on here as well live. I'm going to have my official mock draft on what I want / think the Eagles are going to do. I'll have that up. That will be a 7-round mock draft. It won't be a live stream because it will be video-wise. You know what I mean? We'll get you the whole draft day sound effects and everything. That will be up within the next 5 to 6 days before the 10-day countdown to the draft. But again, shout out to the real ones in here: Mirror Slime, Big Zay, 2K, Khalil, Unspoken Word, Jimmy, Gilo. Appreciate y'all tuning in. ASAP Rocky. Let's take a look at this. And I'm going to look at the NFL tracker via Anthony DeBona backwards, right? So we'll do it backwards and look at what he says here. Prior to the 2023 NFL draft, the Eagles hosted Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, and Keely Ringo on top 30 visits. Prior to the 2024 draft, the Eagles hosted Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt, Anaya Smith, Johnny Wilson on top 30 visits, which means 56.3 of the Philadelphia's draft picks in each of the last 2 seasons had top 30 visits with the team. 100% of Philadelphia's first 3 draft picks in each last 2 seasons had top 30 visits. So again, it's not a guarantee that the Eagles draft somebody who's in their top 30 visits, because a lot of people are wondering. Now, there's still 13 visits to come. 13 visits. The Eagles will utilize all top 30 visits. However, we haven't brought in a tight end at all. And a lot of people are talking about tight end with the news. Dallas Goedert on the last year of his deal, no guaranteed money. We are trying to see about a possible trade, blah, 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 blah. Eagles normally bring in their next tight end prior to releasing or letting go or trading their tight end. We love tight ends. Now, we did bring in, Harrison. We also brought in Granson. These are guys I think the Eagles like, but for long-term projects, because they do got some upside. One is a blocker, one is a route runner. I think Granson is pretty can do it all type tight end, but he's not replacing what Dallas Goedert brought to the team when healthy for multiple years, what Zach Ertz brought to the team for multiple years. And there are a lot of guys in this draft, from Terrence Ferguson, Mason Taylor Mason. I don't know why I'm mixing them up. LSU guy, it's Mason Taylor. I don't know why I said Taylor Mason. You got Harold Fannin Jr., a couple dudes I like, and even other ones I think are going to go too early. Middle to end of the first round, early second round. I'm not really looking and scouting them because I don't think the Eagles will go that high. But you never know. I don't think the Eagles will go that high, but with us having a 32nd overall pick, a trade back could really happen. What if a team is willing to come up to get a quarterback, right? What if Jalen Milroe is still on the board around 32? You know, if you got guys on the board that are fringe first round quarterbacks in a quarterback desperate league, you get a guy wanting to move up to 32nd to get their quarterback. Say they got their skill player or defensive player early in the draft that they know is going to be good, and they want to come up and take one of these quarterbacks that are fringe first round picks. That's good news for the Eagles, because you could, end up dropping from 32 to 42. That's 10 picks behind, but it depends on what is on the board and what is your draft strategy. How does the Philadelphia Eagles big board look? You move back 10, 12 spots. What if you garner a first round pick for the 2026 draft? Then you go into the 2026 draft with 2 first round picks, one of them being a team that might not be trying to do big things like the Eagles. I don't know. I'm just saying there's so many ways that this can go, especially with Howie Roseman. Let's look at this, though. The last person we brought in was Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Anthony DeBonis says, former Ole Miss cornerback Trey Amos showcases dominant potential in his only season with the Rebels prior to transferring to Ole Miss. Amos spent 1 season at Alabama in 2023. During his 2 seasons in the SEC, Amos allowed just 41 receptions on 82 targets for 381 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, according to Pro Football Focus. Amos was an elite track athlete in high school and has paired his blazing speed with impressive instincts to be a top cornerback prospect following the departure of Darius Slay and Isaiah Rodgers. Amos would immediately commit to compete for a starting job in Philadelphia. Amos is projected to be selected on day 2 of the 2025 NFL draft. I don't think he would be our pick at 32. Again, you got these corners like Trey Amos, Maxwell Harrison, who I would like if we end up dropping back. If the Eagles end up moving from 32 to 42, 32 to 45, you go back 10 to 12 spots in the NFL draft, you garner some real good capital for that because one of these teams came up for a quarterback. That is when I could see you taking one of them corners. I don't know about day 1, which would be the last pick in the NFL draft, day 1. But you get yourself a Trey Amos, who's Anthony DeBonin didn't describe his height and weight, but he's physical guy. I think he's like 6'1", a tackling machine. I like him working with this secondary. Again, we still got Kelee Ringo, who I said in my last video on Thursday or Friday is still younger than the rookie Quinyon Mitchell. Kelee Ringo is younger than Quinyon Mitchell going into year 3, as Quinyon is going into year 2. The biggest difference is one was ready to play, first round pick. The other one needed some time, but Christian Parker was working with him this year, had high hopes for him, had good things to say about him. He was winning the battle in training camp, then kind of lost it to Isaiah Rodgers, and then Quinyon Mitchell, just being Quinyon, took it over when need be. We're going to find out who Kelee Ringo is with the addition of Adoree Jackson and the possibility of bringing in a cornerback. Again, the Eagles have brought 3 cornerbacks in on top 30 visits thus far. Still 13 to go, none being tight ends, which we talked about a little bit. Another top 30 visit is Nick Scorton, edge out of Texas A&M. Former Texas A&M defensive lineman Nick S. is the second member of the Aggies defensive front to visit Philadelphia this offseason. We're going to go backwards in these ones. After transferring from Purdue to Texas A&M, Scorcher's production took a step back as he was asked to play a little more on the inside. Although the transition helped Nick showcase his alignment versatility despite a dip in production. Let me get this, see if I can get this out of here. No, I can't. So that's just there. Despite a dip in production in 2024, Scorcher was still able to showcase his power, pass rushing ability, and he possesses a deadly spin move that will give him a go-to move from day one in the NFL. He would surely help fill the void created by Josh Sweat's departure. He's projected to be a second late, selected late on day one or early on day two, which is right where the Eagles sit. Which is right where the Eagles kind of sit. I like his game from especially what I watched at Purdue. I think he's only fallen to possibly 32 because of the Texas A&M tape. And again, nobody really showed out on that defensive line. So do you believe that he's more of the player in Purdue, especially in a system like Fangio, where we're going to utilize him on the outside? Or do you think he has the versatility where, again, under Fangio, you could get the most out of him on the outside for sure, but the versatility to play inside, learn behind the dominance of a Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Amaro Jomo, with Fangio being there, Clint Hurt being there, that his D-line coach, that could give you that versatility to play inside, outside, because the two big losses on the line, we lost BG as well, but he was gone for the majority of the season, came back in the Super Bowl, but you lose BG, Sweat, and Milton Williams. So now you got a guy who can play a little inside, probably needs more work there. That's just why he dropped a little bit coming out of Texas A&M compared to what he was out of Purdue. But he has, top 20 potential if he plays the position he was playing at Purdue and we get the most out of him. So that's just my thoughts there. Again, this 32nd pick, winning the Super Bowl, having the 32nd pick, yes, it's the latest pick you can have in the first round. So you're getting somewhat of a second round talent unless somebody really falls down the board. Now, again, you start to see Azuraku on the board at 27, 28, 25. Do you move up? Walter Nolan, who I'm surprised the Eagles haven't even brought in for a top 30 visit yet. He did go to the Cowboys. He visited with the Cowboys over the weekend. Don't want to see that, right? I think there's high potential. You had what's his name? Ray Dininger. Compare him to Jalen Carter. Now, nobody is Jalen Carter. He said reminiscent to Jalen Carter. Let's go down the list, though. Jacob Parrish, another cornerback from Kansas State, brought in, former Kansas State cornerback. Jacob P. was a 2-year starter for the Wildcats, while Parrish primarily played outside corner. He played a variety of roles in college. Due to Parrish's size, 5'10", 191, and with his 37/8 arms, many believe his best fit is a slot corner in the NFL. Now, granted, that's what a lot of people said about Isaiah Rodgers, too. Smaller guy, not a big frame, so they said he would be a slot. And he did play a little slot in college. Isaiah Rodgers is an outside guy. He's not the most dominant physical guy out there, but that's what he plays, and that's what Vic Fangio used him in. So you get a guy like Jacob Parrish in here, right? Yeah, he might have inside-outside versatility. Thanks to Parrish competitive and physicality, he was able to survive on the outside in college. Parrish is smooth in coverage and showcases speed by running a 4.35 40 at the NFL Combine. Parrish is projected to be selected late on day 2, early on day 3 for the 2025 NFL Draft. So again, this is a guy that, whether we play him inside, outside, again, a lot of these guys are going to be slated for day 2 or late day 1 because that is where we're picking. The only guy, I think the highest guy out of the 17 top 30 visits, I think Donovan Ezuraku goes the earliest, or is projected to at least possibly go the earliest. Swiss says, I want Ezuraku. Definitely love his game. A little light for an edge rusher, but I like his game as well. We brought another one in, a UCLA edge rusher we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. I just want to run down this list because I've broke down the Ezurakus and the Maxwell Harristons and a couple of the offensive linemen in videos, but I've been MIA since like Thursday or Friday, And I just want to run down this list so we got it covered at least, because I do want to get your thoughts on some of these guys. Please let me know. And as well as then continue to rock out with the top 30 visits video wise throughout the rest of this 17 days before the NFL draft. And I will have my official mock draft for the 2025 NFL season prior to the 10-day countdown. So before we get to 10 days remaining, I will have that. And the next one up is Dylan I can't see, it's too low. Fairchild, offensive lineman from Georgia. Why not bring an offensive lineman from Georgia in? We're going to talk about that, but first, let's quick hear a word from our sponsor, Exter Wallets, the best on the market. Are you tired of your old wallet? Don't lie. Well, look no further. Exter got you covered with some of the coolest wallet designs I've ever seen. A flick of a button and your cards pop out. The easiest access ever. Plus, a money strap to put your cash in the front. This wallet can hold up to 12 cards utilizing the back plate. Or use that space for your card tracker. I'm telling you, this thing connects to your iPhone. And if you misplace your wallet somewhere in your house, it helps you find it. And the best thing about these wallets is it blocks RFID from wireless theft. As for their other style, it's premium leather. It also has the quick flick function to access cards easy and has every single thing that the other one had, including the tracker card, which you can put inside a wallet or outside a wallet. And of course, your cash could go a multitude of places in this one. And both of them come in a variety of colors. So enjoy up to 30% off until May 19th. Use my link /promo code Philly at checkout to get an additional 10% saving. Once again, click the link in the description or use the QR code on the top right. Then don't forget to use promo code Philly at checkout to get an additional 10% savings. I'm telling you, them wallets come in handy. I'm still using mine. Like I said, one of my cards is missing here because the wife got it. Went to a couple stores today. That's why flying out of there. But go check it out. Link in the description. You can go back and use the QR code as well. Hit the like button. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, I haven't been going live much, so this is a impromptu one, and it's pretty early for us to go live anyways. But shout out to y'all. 2K the Menace said, "What do you think about James Pearson Jr.?" I like his tape out of Tennessee. I think combine his tape with the 40-yard dash he ran, the dude's a monster. Now, there's some reasons why he might fall to 32, but nothing crazy alarming to where I don't think Howie Roseman wouldn't go that route. Again, I really do think a trade back scenario to garner more picks to really maximize these next two drafts is on Howie's radar. Unless one of these guys drop, you start to see the James Pearson Jr., Walter Nolan, Donovan Exaraku. You see one of these guys falling back, why not then? Eagle Al said he's definitely a gamble. He's also like 20, if I'm not mistaken, talking about the edge rusher from Texas A&M. He is young. He probably is 20. I know he's younger than the average college person coming out of the draft. Let's see what Anthony DeBona had to say about Dylan Fairchild. Former Georgia offensive lineman Dylan Fairchild started 23 games at left guard for the Bulldogs. He also started one game at right guard, showcasing his versatility to play either spot. Fairchild joins Jarrett Wilson and Tate Ratledge as former starters along the interior of Georgia's offensive line that are expected to be selected in the 2025 NFL draft. I know a lot of people like Tate Ratledge for sure. While Fairchild isn't rated as highly as Wilson or Ratledge, there is no denying his experience and potential at guard. Following the departure of Mekhi Becton in free agency, Fairchild would bring added competition to the right guard spot in Philadelphia and is projected to be selected on day 3 of the 2025 NFL draft. When you look at the actual prospects that the Eagles are bringing in offensive line-wise, right? Tackles, guards. There's not many are day 1 draftees. We understand who Stoutland University is, what it can accomplish rugby players becoming all pro left tackles. So, yes, if there is a for sure fire offensive lineman hanging in there in the top 30 picks, 32 picks, how he could move up and grab one or stay and grab one. But I think you're going to see a guard taken in that late second, early third round pick. And that's why you'll see a lot of these guys there. Decisions. But one thing I don't like is hearing now that the draft is becoming more clear. The top three are becoming more clear, where it's like, Abdul, hold on, what I think, like the quarterback Cam Ward might go number one or number two. I mean, what I see on Twitter when I saw Adam Schefter talking about it. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, Adam Schefter was talking on the Pat McAfee podcast, talking about Tennessee Cam Ward, Cleveland Travis Hunter, and the Giants getting a dual Carter. Lord have mercy. If the Giants will get a dual Carter and the Cowboys draft Walter Nolan, that'd be crazy. Shout out to Big Smooth with the $5 super chat. Appreciate the love and support. Yo, Philly Mike, what would you like the Eagles to do this draft? Also, you got any word on Huff and Goedert? Not so much Bryce Huff. You know, there's still little murmurs that come out every day about the possibility the Eagles wanting to trade him. One of the guys that popped up on the radar that could be interested now due to the money they have, plus the lack of pass rushers on that team, is the Green Bay Packers. Again, the compensation wouldn't be much. You're talking about a fifth, sixth, maybe seventh round pick, but the Green Bay Packers have the ability to take on most of his money. He's highly paid still. When you look at pass rushers, if he's going to give you the production that he gave New York, the 3-year, $51 million ain't that big of a contract if he's giving you what he gave you in New York. And I think their system better fits what he wants to do, right? Two hand down. He wants to he wants to know it's a passing situation. He wants to put both hands in the ground, be as wide as possible, and just use his speed to get at the quarterback. Simple and plain. He's not trying to take on blocks. He's not trying to play the run. And again, the Jets were able to play him in them situations due to the depth they had on the defensive line. We need a guy that could do both. We mix and match our coverages. We don't have situational pass rushers, and that's what he really is. Now, the mindset was, can Fangio change him into an every down player? We didn't see it, but injuries played a part. But I do see a scenario in which we try to just get Bryce Huff's money off the books. As for Dallas Goedert, we just saw the big contract gave to the Cardinals. What's his name? McBridge? He got a beast contract. Now, here's the difference. McBridge is 25 years old. Goddard is 30 years old. But didn't we just see Evan Ingram get a deal? I believe Evan Ingram signed a 2-year deal for $23 million, with 16 and a half of that being guaranteed. Well, guess how old Evan Ingram is? 30 years old. McBridge, however you pronounce it, upcoming young tight end, good, young, pay him, cool. He's the highest paid tight end in the NFL. But Evan Ingram is 30 years old and just got 2 years, 23 mil. Goddard playing on the last year of his deal with no guaranteed money. Evan Ingram just got 16 and a half guaranteed. Who would you rather have on your team right now? Evan Ingram or Dallas Goedert? Ask any team in the NFL, they're going to go Dallas Goedert. So right there just shows you that, could the Eagles find a way? His cap hit is not going to be allowed by Howie Roseman. I don't think Howie wants the cap hit to hit this year and to let him walk for no reason. So McBridge, he reset the market for the youngsters, but still Evan Ingram getting paid $23 million on a 2-year deal, 16 and a half of that being guaranteed, lets me know gotta be a real one. If he does let the Eagles rework his deal and takes less than that, he'll be a crazy real one. As for what I want to do in the draft, Big Smooth, I'm down for whatever, as long as, I'm not trying to reach for a position. Again, the Eagles have brought in a total of 3 corners, 1 running back, like 7 offensive linemen or 8 offensive linemen, 2 or 3 defensive ends. So you kind of see where we're going. I just don't want to reach. I'm okay with drafting an edge, corner, or safety. Now, we have not brought in any safeties. They got the Notre Dame guy. I forgot how to pronounce his last name. He's a friend. He's, early second round, but we don't got an early second round. If we going to go for a guy early second, might as well trade back. But if a Donovan Ezaraku is there, Walter Nolan, doubt it, super doubt it, but you never really know. Again, Quinyon Mitchell was supposed to be the first corner off the board. Not only was he not the first corner off the board, the only way the Eagles were projected to get him is if we traded up with Denver at 12. We stayed put and got Quinyon. Shoot, Cooper DeJean was projected to go round 1, and we moved up in the second and got him. So you never really know. But if anything, I would think a Walter Nolan moves up the board before he falls back on the board. Just him in general, based on the more and more I watch him. Some people got the Eagles going a wide receiver early-ish in this draft. And I'm like, why? You still got Jahan Dotson, as Eagle Al just said, will have a bigger role. And even if he doesn't have a bigger role, I think what he was able to give us in the biggest games of the season was important. And again, you're talking about, we went to this now Super Bowl twice with a Quez Watkins wide receiver 3 and a Jahan Dotson wide receiver 3. Quez gave us some good stuff that year into the Super Bowl. Jahan Dotson did the things he needed to do. Now, again, you lose a weapon like Dallas Goedert, well, then maybe Jahan Dotson rolls a little bit bigger. That's for sure. And I think he's a good receiver, and you do got him one more year. You're probably not going to get him under contract after this, but you still got him for one more year. What is he? He was drafted. Well, that's the thing. We talked about Jordan Davis. What do you call it? Exercising the 5th year option. We have until May to see if we're going to exercise the 5th year option on Jordan Davis, Jahan Dotson, and what's his name? The guy we just traded for, Kenyon Green, the guy we traded CJGJ for. So I don't understand people saying we're going to get a wide receiver. You never really know, but I doubt that. We'll see. Donnie Ford said, yo, Philly Mike, I can see how we trading down in the second and trading back up to move up in the second. I can see how we trading down in the second and trading back up. So you talking about moving our first round pick to early second so we can get capital to come up with our second. So instead of having 32 and 64, we'll have 42 and 54. 10 picks up in a second, 10 picks back in a second. I ain't mad at that because I think there's going to be some real solid depth between the 32nd pick and the 64th. Where everybody wants to eat in the early first part of this round, it's going to be hard for us to eat there unless Howie figures out a way to just really move up the board. But if you turn 32 to 42 and then 64 to 54, or even more, 64 to 50, now you're getting somebody at 42 and 50. That's 8 picks away. All these guys that we keep hearing saying fringe first round, early second round, they start to sound more realistic. And you get 2 guys. And for anybody saying, well, I mean, Quinyon was great this year, but so was Cooper DeJean. And he went multiple picks later in the second. Earliest earliest second. Thank you, Washington. Let's get back to this again. I've broken down in video some of these guys, but I do want to just get to this. Anthony DeBona is the one who wrote this article, and go follow him on Twitter. Again, he'll keep you up to date with every single what do you call it? Top 30 visit that happens. There's still 13 more coming. Now, sometimes I'll see it from like an Adam Schefter or something first, but if I don't catch the news for these top 30 visits, Anthony DeBona always has it up and ready. As he was, and again, we're going backwards. So we're not going front forward, we're going backwards. Shamar Turner is another one, inside defensive lineman from Texas A&M. Former Texas A&M defensive lineman Shamar Turner did it all during his career with the Aggies. Turner played up and down the defensive line as he showcased his versatility over the last 3 seasons. While Turner played over 500 snaps on the edge, he will likely primarily play inside at the next level. Following the departure of Milton Williams in free agency, Turner could help alleviate the pressure on Amaro Ajomo, who I'm huge on. Pause. I really think it's a Jomo season. Like, breakout Ajomo season is coming. Breakout Ajomo season is coming. Now, granted, he's not going to outperform a Jalen Carter, but watch what Ajomo does. He's definitely going to be talked about in a whole different light. He's already talked about by a decent amount of people in the Eagles, not organization, but also like fan base starting to really see what he can do. I'm with it. Turner is projected to be selected on day 2 of the 2025 NFL draft. Here's the edge from UCLA. I'm not going to be able to say it, but I heard about him from this as well, but also when Justin Mellos talked about it on the draft network, but he talked about it on Twitter, got that, Jalix Hunt vibe around him, where he went from a linebacker to edge rusher, so he's real new at the position, but showed flashes. Former UCLA edge rusher, Double O, we're going to call him, offers quite an interesting skill set prior to 2024. Double O primarily played off-ball linebacker and played just 84 career snaps as a pass rusher. 84 career snaps as a pass rusher, and that's what he's coming to the league to be. That's crazy. So, again, a lot of boom bust could be. According to Pro Football Focus, yet the numbers jumped to 325 snaps as a pass rusher last season. I'm already here talking too early. So he did play. So he played 84 career snaps prior to last season, where he got 1 full year as an edge rusher. After making a move to outside, Double O has significantly increased his draft stock as teams are intrigued by his untapped potential as an edge rusher. After the Eagles' success utilizing Zach Bond as an off-ball linebacker that can also defend the edge, Olagio would offer a similar skill set in Philadelphia, who's projected to be late on day 2 or day 3 in the NFL draft. Again, that's why you don't see none of these guys that we're bringing in as like surefire first round, blah, blah, blah. If it is, we want to be, well, you never know. I mean, like I said, you're in a real weird spot at 32. That's why Donnie Forrest suggested, and I'm not even mad at that type of suggestion, moving back into the early second. So you have no first round pick, but you by moving back 10 to 12 spots in the second, you move up 10 to 12 spots with your second. Born alone, die alone. Said, yeah, Mike, they bugging about wide receiver. They need someone to pick up a safety or linebacker before we do anything else. Go Birds. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't brought in a safety on a top 30 visit. I think there's some good ones out there, not just named Malachi Starks and the Notre Dame kid. I think you got the guy from Texas, Andrew Mukwambu or something. Mir Slime was posting some stuff on Twitter today about it. I didn't get to really talk about it or even mention to him about it, but, comparing him to CJ GJ as a player who flies around. Donovan Jackson is an offensive line from Ohio State that we brought in. I just got a message from someone important that I might have to get off here sooner than I thought. We've been live for about 34 minutes. I do wanted to break these down. Like I said, I pretty much talked about the early ones. I actually talked about Donovan Jackson in the video and Charles Grant. I didn't talk about Tyler Barron, the edge out of Miami, though. We talked about Jaden Blue, the running back out of Texas, dominant Donovan Exraku, Maxwell Harrison, Elijah Roberts. So, yeah, all these offensive line. And again, look at these. Jalen Travis, O-line, Iowa State. Marcus Embo, O-line, Purdue. Again, when I do my mock drafts, I get him in the third round sometimes. So, again, these are not first-round prospects. Josh Connerly Jr., offensive line out of Oregon. Anthony Belton, offensive line out of North Carolina State. These are guys I get late in the mock drafts anyways. But let's talk about this one dude, Tyler Barron, edge rusher out of Miami. I don't really know too much about him as well. So I'm going to hear from Anthony DeBono on this. Former Miami edge rusher Tyler Barron enjoyed his most productive season as a pass rusher with the Hurricanes in 2024. Barron recorded 48 total pressures and 250 pass rushing snaps, according to Pro Football Focus. After spending 4 seasons at Tennessee, Barron made a major leap in his lone season at Miami. Interesting. Barron will fit in well along Philly's defensive front, given his size and versatility. At 6'5", 258, Barron has the build to hold the edge with his hand in the dirt or standing up. Barron is projected to be selected on day 3 of the 2020 NFL Draft. Interesting. I definitely want to watch some tape on him. I didn't even realize that he was one of the guys the Eagles brought in with my busy schedule over the last couple of weeks. But that's pretty much it. I wanted to do a mock draft, and I still will do a mock draft on here. When we do the live mock draft, I'm going to ask y'all to pick it for me. But I will have my official mock draft out before the top 10, before there's 10 days left. So right now there's 17 days left. The draft is on April 24th. So by April 14th, I will have my 7-round official mock draft via video style. Donnie Forrest said Barron got all the tools. I'm definitely going to have to watch him a little bit more because that's one guy I'm not even I don't really know about his game. Ivan said, I think edge over D tackle because Jordan Davis will have a bigger role. They need edge in 2026. Jordan Davis' role is going to have to expand. You're talking about 523 snaps gone from Milton Williams' departure. Now, here's the thing. Amara Ajomo and Jordan Davis had the exact same amount of snaps. Take what you want from that. But Mara Ajomo and Jordan Davis had the exact same amount of snaps ending the 2024 season. Now, I don't know about the playoffs, but I'm talking about regular season snaps. They had the exact same. Who's just going to climb up higher? Clint Hurt has said that he still knows there's more meat on the bone left for Jordan Davis as a pass rusher, that he still sees a pass rusher in Jordan Davis. He just got to pull it out still. We know what he does, anchoring the D-line, being the cog in the middle, taking on multiple bodies in the run game, and helping us be a legit run defense. 125 said, I see a bunch of Pat fans and not Eagle fans, NFC East fans who say Milton Williams is a huge loss, but the truth is he wasn't a starter. Our only D tackle who is a starter is Carter. He played fewer than 50% of the snaps. Yeah, again, it was over 800 and something snaps, like 830 some snaps for Jalen Carter, 500 and something for Milton Williams, and then 388 for both Ajomo and Jordan Davis. With that being said, I definitely wanted to do a quick live mock draft, but I got some news. That's also why I didn't drop a video today. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll be back to our videos. We'll be back to going live. Gotta hit up LB so we can get GOAT talk. But the live streams will be coming normally, like around 4, 5, 6. You know, if I do go live, it's normally in the evening. The videos will keep dropping. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you know when we drop these videos, all that stuff. Andrew said, anyone think Isaiah Simmons could be an option for replacing Oren Burks? I like his tools, and he probably just be a 1-year prove it deal. Sign me up. I've always liked the potential of Isaiah Simmons. He hasn't been able to live up to that first round grade, not even close to the first round grade. But again, Cardinals, who's really teaching defense on the Cardinals? Giants, I mean, it is what it is. You come to an Eagles team where, again, Oren Burks was just a special team guy and a backup linebacker on the talented, once upon a time talented Niners roster. He thrived in his role here. So I would not be mad at all about that. I'm awake said Howie's going to draft a 400-pounder, Desmond Watson. He's from Florida. Keep your eyes on that one. Ain't he the one that people are talking about as the push-tush stopper? I heard something along them lines. But 400-pounder, that's crazy. Again, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Eagles top 30 visit. I also wanted to do a live mock draft where y'all can let me know what y'all think about certain guys. We will still do all that. Later in the week, we'll be going live again, probably in the evening. Just turn on a notification bell so you know when we drop these videos. Again, don't really go live this early. We'll be back on the videos regularly scheduled the rest of this week. Love y'all to death. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.